previous segment, I talked about what to do when you make a blunder. But the real question is, would it be possible to avoid making blunders in the first place? What is that you need to do to at least minimize the number of blunders that you make? Well, I'm going to give you the answer in a second. First, let me show you an example. If the game starts with e4 and black plays c6, we have the Caro-Kann defense. Black wants to play d5, but he doesn't want to bring his queen out too early, which is why he's playing c6 to reinforce the move d5. White continues with knight to f3, just a normal development, and black continues with his idea, plays d5 in this position. White continues with knight to f3, pawn takes, knight takes. And because this knight is very nicely centrally positioned and controls so many squares in the black's position, black would really like to get rid of it or to exchange it. To that aim, black wants to play knight f6, but when white takes, that would result in doubling of the pawns. So to prepare knight f6, black plays knight to d7. But now white, who sees what is that black wants to do, goes queen e2. Black plays knight to f6, and the big surprise, there is the checkmate on the very next move. Knight e6 checkmate. It's a smothered knight. The queen and the knight are working together very, very nicely to deliver this checkmate. Well, the question is, can you avoid a disaster like this? What is it that you can do to minimize the number of big errors that you make in a game? And what I suggest that you do is, before making any move, stop and change the level of your thoughts to the level of immediate threats. Up until that moment, you might be thinking very strategically, I'm going to attack on the queen's side, on the king's side. The variations that you might be calculating might take, 3, 2, 4, a number of moves into the future. But when you change the level of thoughts, look at the most immediate threats just before you make a move. So ask yourself, are there any checks in the position? Is your queen under attack? Are there any pieces under attack? Are there any forks? Are there any pins that could damage my position? And then just before you make this move, you will notice that yes, there is one check right here on d6, which in fact is a checkmate that ends the game immediately. So once you realize that that is what's going to happen, then you can play a move like this, knight d to f6, in which case the queen is protecting that square and black has a very good game from that moment on. So just to recap, my key advice there is, before making any move, look for immediate threats, look for all forks, pins, captures, checks that may happen in the position, and you will be able to very, very quickly reduce the number of mistakes that you make.